I want to talk about the personal finances, not in this accounting system. Okay, this is way before we even get to that. My systems, my way of teaching personal finance starts with the mail. But weekly, we want to get the mail. What does that do? It stops it from piling up. And most money matters start in the mail. So my systems start in the mail, and I have worksheets, and I'm going to tell you about a special offer right at the end where you can get a little tool off Amazon that I created right before the recession. Go through the mail once a week, and I've got you doing an exercise with that mail. So you're not just opening it up and putting it to the side. No, we're doing something with the numbers inside of that envelope. Pretty powerful. So that by the end of the month, we've got all of your mail laid out, everything that came in. Think about the people who are struggling with due dates and they're not really sure, when things are due. Guess what? You can flip right back and see, oh, that's right. That's due on the 12th. Oh, well, okay, that's due on the 22nd, but we can take care of it now. You see what's going on? Weekly, we're doing something every single week with the mail. Then at the end of the month, we've got all of our mail in different places in these worksheets that I created. You're listening to the Money Doctor, Money Talk for Modern Entrepreneurs podcast. I'm your host and founder, Mildred Dillon, CPA. And as a modern entrepreneur, you're not just getting up and going to sit behind a desk all day. Chances are you're probably driving right now with your phone in your hand, mapping your way to your next destination. Because you work online and your systems are mobile, you can work from anywhere. Not key punching, but scrolling through social media, creating your own posts to tell the world about your offerings, and you're replying to emails and hopping over to your favorite app to order something for pickup, all while having a full-on conversation with the kids in the back seat. Yep, they're part of the workforce. They're part of the team because as modern entrepreneurs, we create families of entrepreneurs that are creating our own schedules that fit into our own lives and changing our futures and the world around us one client at a time. Wow, that sounds like a lot, and it is, but we wouldn't have it any other way. And if this describes you, you're going to love what you hear on this podcast because each and every episode is designed to give you a tip or strategy that you can use on one of those apps to get your finances in order, in good health, all while on the go. So, thank you for joining me. If you're ready to get to work, let's go. I want you to imagine your business coach or business advisor or even a relationship counselor telling you, looking you squarely in the eye, saying, you're having an affair with your business. That's right. That would be my reaction. Well, you just heard it again, and you'll see it on this next upcoming episode, Marriage and Business on the Go. I almost fell out of my chair when JoJo Rankin, our special guest and host, part of the Kojo, you'll learn about them as she describes their journey, tell me that, your focus is on the business. And when you become a couple, either, if not both, the focus gets split, to the business, but also the family. And so it was really, really cool how she walks us through some ways to talk about the money, some to get next to the subject, to start the subject, when to talk about it, how to talk about it. She has a system. She has an acronym to even help us remember. It was really, really a fun recording. And so we'll be dropping that in just a few days. But I wanted to kind of give you a heads up with, how this fits in while we're still on the break. We have just a few days before, we're into this new year and all of the hustle and bustle and back to our lives. And so while she's got you covered on the how and the what and the when and the where even, I want to talk a little bit about the structure. Because structure a lot of times is what people are missing when it comes to money management. It seems hard, it seems overwhelming, but if we'd only learned it, right, like our ABCs, and been given really some realistic systems to save, realistic, ways to stay out of debt, let's ways to face our debt. And yeah, the debt snowball, that's good, but you got to get there. You got to have that extra money to start the snowball, And so if only we were taught that the way we're taught all these other things in school, where would we all be? Right? So most of my clients, myself included, we all agree we'd be a lot further along. This episode and any episode where we talk about relationships, I'll just tell you, it's near and dear to my heart. I've seen so many relationships, including my own marriages even, dissolve and just, break down because of money. And then you add in business, you've got another set of finances to manage. And so that's what I wanted to talk a little bit about, because I don't do much of it during the year. We're talking about taxes and business and entrepreneurship and, accounting systems and all those things. I want to talk about the personal finances, because that's where that partner, or as you heard in our intro, the kids can really play a part. And I love it how she touched on it, but we're going to do more of the family finances, because I think that's our solution. I love financial literacy. I'm passionate about it. Anyone who knows me, if you haven't met the Money Doctor kids, at the Money Doctor JR on Instagram, you'll see them. Children's series. It's now over 10 years old that I aged the material to go into the high schools and work with adults. So I'm passionate, as you hear, about financial literacy. But here's the thing. What if we all got in a room and took 1 hour, because that's all we need over here, to introduce the basics to everyone on their level? Well, that's what family finances is. That's what it looks like. And so you'll see that. We'll give you the links at the end of this episode on how you can see what that looks like. Each and every person in that household, I've got a picture on our website, is got their mind on their money. From the shortest in the household all the way up to the parents. But it's interesting to see what money is on their mind, what they want that money to give them. They're each drawing something different. It's a very powerful picture. I remember when I first saw it, did a little modifications to it, but it just speaks volumes that everyone's got money on their mind, no matter their age. We need to be able to reach them with age appropriate material. And so that is what we're talking about with family finances. But back to the personal. We're talking about things that we need to be doing on a weekly basis, not in a accounting system. Okay, this is way before we even get to that. We're talking about the mail. Yep. It starts with the mail. My systems, my way of teaching personal finance starts with the mail. So picture this. You get the mail, and once a week, you might want to write this down too. This is noteworthy. Once a week, we're going to go through that mail. Think about that. Now, what if we went through it as a team? What if the kids had a role to play with the mail? I'm not saying have them open up some of that scary stuff. I get it. But some things, how about the light bill when they won't turn off the lights or the water? They can have a part to play in the expense that they're creating. Doesn't that sound great? There's a way to help them see. Wow. Let's look at last month when we weren't here as much. Look at the bill then. See how we're getting into some analytics that's age appropriate? Yeah, things like that. But weekly, we want to get the mail. What does that do? It stops it from piling up. And most money matters start in the mail. So my systems start in the mail, and I have worksheets, and I'm going to tell you about a special offer right at the end where you can get a little tool off Amazon that I created right before the recession. A 3-ring binder system, but now it's actually not just a binder system, because the worksheets still exist, but it's sitting in a warehouse where you can get this tool. But weekly basis, the mail. Go through the mail once a week, and I've got you doing an exercise with that mail. So you're not just opening it up and putting it to the side. No, we're doing something with the numbers inside of that envelope. Pretty powerful. Yes, it is. And every single week we're doing that, so that by the end of the month, we've got all of your mail laid out, everything that came in. Think about the people who are struggling with due dates and they're not really sure, when things are due. Guess what? You can flip right back and see, oh, that's right. That's due on the 12th. Oh, well, okay, that's due on the 22nd, but we can take care of it now. You see what's going on? Back to that agenda JoJo talks about in the podcast, setting up a time. to talk about these things. It's kind of like a family meeting. You'll hear they're big on those. Family meeting to go over the finances, or at least the two, adults in the room, as they say, to do it together so that everyone plays a part. So back to the system. Weekly, we're doing something every single week with the mail. Then at the end of the month, we've got all of our mail in different places in these worksheets that I created. Now, what are the places? I'll go ahead, spoiler alert, debts. Remember the debt snowball? Everybody's heard of it. How do we get there? Well, part of what came in the mail, unfortunately, especially after the holidays, is going to be the debts, the balances, the interest rates, who you owe, how much you owe, back to the balance. And when the due date is, of course, because we definitely don't want to pay those late. That affects our credit, right? Everyone knows that, credit score. So you see how this little tool is helping all these areas, starting with the mail, but it's structured time. So we're looking at all our debts in one place. You know what else we're looking at all in one place? Our insurances. Big deal. I got a testimony on that one. One of my colleagues, I noticed my insurance premium doubled. Just don't get me started. But because I looked at it, obviously, and I know what I was paying monthly a year ago, all of a sudden it just goes up. I go in the office, I talk to them. They're not giving me any answers. She doesn't explain it either. Yes, inflation. Yes, everything's more expensive, right? That just seemed a little extreme to me. But because I was on it, guess what? It was on my to-do list. That's part of the system. I'm helping you create that every single week with the mail. Okay, it's a phone call I need to make or somebody I need to go see. Put it down on the to-do list. And I stayed on top of it. So yeah, they got one more high payment out of me, but they won't get it again because I took action. And I was able to get my premium, happy to say, not back down to where it was, but just like 100 or two more and some other discounts thrown in. Do you see how that time that I spent was good for my money? And it's going to be good for my money moving forward. That's more free money for social. It's another few bottles of wine, or whatever. Do you see the point? It almost doesn't matter so much what we do with it. It's let's create that extra money. Because, that's extra money back in my bank account. And that's what we're talking about. But it starts with having these conversations, taking this time with the mail, having these conversations with the affected parties or with the parties who need to be involved, even if it's external. And now we've got these things all in one place. Let me give you a couple more things that we need in one place. Business expense. I am a realist. I know it's all the great resignation has created so many entrepreneurs out there. But a lot of y'all, honestly, modern or not, hopefully you're going to be modern if you listen to this podcast. We're going to make a strong pitch for it because that's just working smart these days. But which is on the go. That's how you know if you're modern, by the way, if you missed the intro. But the thing is, not all of you are going to go right into an accounting system. I mean, we can't justify it if we don't have enough activity. But you know what? Even if you're not making money, you're spending it. You're spending it on your idea, even to get those articles filed or maybe business cards or, you went online and ordered some marketing material. You're spending money. We need to grab that out of the mail, okay, in the system. We need to have somewhere for that every single month. I believe in monthly when it comes to accounting. You know why? We got profit and loss on a monthly basis. We got our balance sheets on a monthly basis, in business land for those of us with established businesses. But to be able to see, all of these things that you spent in a month on this home-based business. Yes, it's helping us on our taxes, but is it helping us that much for what you have to pay every month to be a part of that business? Oops, now I'm getting messy, right? That's what we need to be looking at. Some of us, we're never going to get there with that type of action. And we need those numbers in front of us to make that decision. But for home-based businesses, I've got a page on there, business expense log. So every single time anything is hitting that bank account that's a business expense, or it's coming through the mail and you think it's a business expense, put it down. We can talk about it. We'll find out come tax time. But the point is we've got a place for it. So let's recap. weekly. We're going through that mail every single week. We're paying attention to if we need to create a to-do list item out of the mail, right? But we're definitely logging down the numbers, the due dates, the amounts. If it's a debt, it's going in a special place. If it's an insurance, it's going in another worksheet. If it's a business expense, like I was just talking about for home business, that too is going into a whole nother page so that we can see at our fingertips all in one place what our numbers are saying to us. That's pretty powerful. Got one more for you. ACH. If it's coming out of your account, out of that bank statement, see, that's how we're going to find those deductions for home-based business. But if it's coming, those auto drafts, we're going to log that too. So you'll be able to see after 30 days of working through this system, all the things I mentioned, but you'll also see all your ACH coming out of your account. You'll see the day that it's going to happen. And I remember this. Oh my gosh. I worked through my own system during the recession. Actually, it was a 3-ring binder system at the time. And the clarity that came from seeing all of that in one place, it was pretty scary. And I definitely had more month than money, but I was able to go back and see, oh my gosh, this is coming out next week, or this is coming out tomorrow. I was able to make a quick transfer, or if possible, just cancel all of it. I remember just online banking. I checked out of it for a while and went totally manual. And that's how I know the system works. It's all about writing. This is a personal side of our lives because when we're entrepreneurs, look, modern or not, hopefully modern, we have two sets of finances. We've got the personal and the business. And I don't believe the personal side of our lives should take a whole bunch of time. I just don't believe that. We need to focus on building our businesses and scrolling and posting and staying on track with business building. And our accounting system is already automated, so that's saving us time, right? Hopefully. We'll get to that. But the point is personal. I see people key punching, trying to come up with a budget and all these things. No. I have an easier way to give you a spending plan, all right? So that you can put yourself on an allowance, again, on a weekly basis. And all of these things take just minutes per week, if that. I remember I was doing my mail weekly. Then I went to every other week. At some point, I went to monthly. Well, that was when I got back on online banking and everything was already handled. But I still, every single month, have to look at all the paper to see what's happening with my money on the personal side. It doesn't take long once it becomes a habit, and we know how long that takes, right? 30 days or less to become a habit, and that's what we're about here. So hopefully, I've whet your appetite a little bit to do this next thing. Go to Amazon. You can type in my name, Mildred Dillon, CPA, Pocket Planner. That's right. It's a planner. You'll see it. It's a little book there that'll pop up. And if you get it, because they're sitting in a warehouse right now, you'll be able to get it this week. They'll ship it out to you. It is eligible for Prime. This little book, what I'd like to see for next year, we talk about, Christmas just already happened, but my wish list would be for as many of you listening to get this book and all of us work through it as a group. I'll even go back to it. Matter of fact, when I start doing video on it and get back on camera next, I'm going to show you guys my book. OMG. When I see it, I tear up because I remember those tough times. And you're going to see massive notes. You're going to see me calling the IRS to get on a payment plan. You're going to see me calling to do payment arrangements for bills and due dates and negotiating and all the notes that I took. Because, I give you room for that every single week. You heard that New Orleans come out? Room for that. All right. Every now and then it comes out when I get a little passionate. But that is what this is about. It's giving you that structure. It's giving it to you on the go, mobile. And I know you thought I'm in an app for that. Well, yes. But when it comes to personal, the writing, that makes it stick. And after a few months, I was back on the road again with my tech. But I had clarity about my money. And as the new money came in, I knew exactly what to do with it. See what's happening? It's helping us plan and create those plans for the future. All right. Well, that's it. We're going to go ahead and put this out for the world. Get the Pocket Planner. It's on Amazon. I'm going to put the link in there also so you can go directly to the page on Amazon. And hopefully, because I'll know if you purchase one, that's going to bring you into our world. And we'll get you the digital downloads that go along with it and some of the training as well. All right. Well, that's it. Thank you for listening, you modern entrepreneurs out there. And if you want to be one, hopefully these episodes inspire you to, take that next step. We're all about the next step here. Yes, you need planning for long term, but you'll never get there if you don't take the next step. So hopefully I've got your juices flowing with how we can get started next year and make this next one our best year ever. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe so you'll get notifications. We're on Apple. We're on, of course, I produce it on Anchor because they just made it so simple to do it on their app. But you can find it on Spotify and quite a few other platforms. But get the notifications, sign up, subscribe. And in between episodes, which we put these out monthly. I'm going to try to get to every other week because the content is definitely growing now with my co-hosts coming in. You can find us at Your Money DR, at Your Money DR. That's my handles on social, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on and Instagram, of course, one of my favorites. And of course, The Money Doctor, all spelled out, is the Facebook page where you can start a convo with us right there at the page. So excited about that too. All right. Oh, of course, and the website. You can go and check out the ABC accounting system setup. If you go there, you'll kind of see me doing a little demo of the swiping left and right that I'm going to help us all do. Once we get into tax season, it's literally just days away. Okay, I'm going to say make it a great day, especially for your money. Have a safe, happy holiday season as we wrap up the season, and we will see you on the other side.